Well, hello and welcome to Understand Men Now. I'm Jonathan Aslay of jonathanAslay.com, and I'm so excited to be shooting this short video for you today. Our topic, the 4 things a man will only do if he really loves you. These are 4 things he'll do if he really loves you. Okay, really quickly, if this content here resonates with you and you've been interested in asking for support and you'd like some help from me personally, check out the link below to schedule a free discovery call to see if working with a coach is right for you. Okay, those 4 things a man will do if he really, 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 really loves you. Only if he loves you. You know, it's interesting. I was watching a movie recently called Don John, and it's about a man addicted to porn. And it's an interesting movie. If you've seen it, please post a comment below and let me know if you've seen it. Actually, it was really well done and well made. Scarlett Johansson at some point in the movie is this guy's girlfriend. And she basically says, well, if a man really loves a woman, he will compromise and sacrifice his life. He will compromise his life and sacrifice his life for her. And that's the premise of demonstrating love. And later on in the movie, he realized she's just using him and not really care about his feelings. So I just want you to know that I don't support that. I know you don't support that, but I just thought that was an interesting thing to share for this video. And let me first start off by saying I want to differentiate the early stages of dating versus a relationship that's beginning to evolve. So if you're not familiar with this, I want to encourage you to start thinking of dating as the first 100 hours of face-to-face time. The first 100 hours of face-to-face time is getting to know you, getting to know each other. And once a couple has progressed past the first 100 hours, this is where the 4 things will start to surface. These are the 4 things that start to surface. So really quick, I'm going to put on my glasses because I wrote notes for myself because I didn't memorize this. But number 1, he cares about your feelings. He cares about your feelings. In other words, he checks in with you. He checks in with you not just how your day is going, but he actually checks in with how you're feeling. A man who genuinely cares about you and loves you isn't thinking of just the surface basic level of a relationship. He leans into your feelings, and that's how you know he genuinely cares. Now, if you're familiar with the book, The 5 Love Languages, here by Gary Chapman. If you're not familiar, please check out, there's a link to Jonathan Recommends books below. But it gives you an idea of how a man and a woman express love in the form of their love language. And one of those is actually caring about your feelings. They check in with you. Now, that's not necessarily pointed out directly in the book, but I want you to know that's how you know he genuinely cares about you. Okay? He really loves you. Number 2, got to put my glass back on. Oh, I love this one. He doesn't have to be right. He doesn't have to be right. When there's a disagreement, or let's just say a tiny bit of friction between the two of you, a man who really loves you and cares about you is actually listening to your point of view. And he's also accepting your point of view. It's not about being right, it's about progressing the relationship. In other words, it's about moving it forward. Now, ladies, everything I'm sharing for men also works for women as well. So it's not about you being right either. And if you're not familiar with the book, Nonviolent Communication by Marshall Rosenberg, you have to buy this. You have to get this because this is going to help with communication. Now, ladies, I'm not saying you buy this book for yourselves. This is a book that the guys should be reading too. If you guys are having a committed relationship with one another, then I'm a big proponent that it's a 2-lane street and you're working together to make this relationship work. Okay? It's a 2-lane street, and this should be a co-creative effort. And it's absolutely okay that you introduce these books to the relationship. Only the wrong guy is going to reject it. Only the wrong guy is going to reject it. And as I say in my book, What the Heck is Self-Love Anyway? One of the chapters is if it's sincere and from the heart, you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. So you can progress the relationship along by introducing these books. Okay? Number 3. Oh, he thinks ahead of time. He thinks ahead of time about your needs. He's actually thinking ahead of time. I remember I was in a significant relationship. Well, not that I remember, I'm just sharing a story from a significant relationship I had where I noticed my girlfriend's dog food was running low. And these are 50-pound bags of dog food. Well, when I noticed it was getting low, I just drove to the store and bought 2 bags, 2 big bags. I mean, it was literally 100 pounds worth. So she didn't have to think about it. I was thinking ahead because I cared for this person. I really loved this person. And that's what a man does. He sees your needs and he's thinking ahead. I have a client whose boyfriend noticed that his girlfriend's trees just needed trimming, and he had the equipment. He thought ahead and went and trimmed her trees at her home. And that's showing that he genuinely cares. And I'm sure you've experienced that. And if you haven't, I'm giving you a big hug because I want you to experience a man who thinks ahead. Okay, thinks ahead of your needs. And because I'm sure you do the same for him. And that's a man who demonstrates that he shows he cares for you. He really loves you. And last but not least, he progresses the relationship forward. He's progressing the relationship forward. He's introducing you to his family. He's introducing you to his friends. He's actually attempting to move the relationship forward. And how do you know all this, ladies? If you're following my work, there's a chances are you're not in one of these relationships because quite frankly, if you're continually analyzing the relationship, if you're analyzing whether or not this person I'm with is the right one for me, then chances are he's not. There's a good chance he's not. Now you might have to look inward and say, could I be the contributing factor here? But if you're constantly analyzing, then there's a chance that it's not the right relationship for you, because a man who genuinely cares about you, a man who really loves you, he's doing these 4 things. Easily he's doing these 4 things. This is just part of the human makeup of someone who genuinely loves you and is capable of being in a relationship. And maybe your guy isn't. This is one of the reasons why in my coaching practice, I teach you how to vet for the guys who are ready for a fully committed relationship and those who aren't. And if you need support, check out the link below to schedule a discovery call so I can help you along this way. All right, I hope this was valuable to you. I'm going to wrap up this video as I always do. Please, first off, giving myself a big, gigantic Jonathan Bear hug of self-love. I'm going to reach into the camera and give you a hug of love, if that's okay. I'm going to ask you to turn to someone and give them a hug of love, because hugs are a great source of love, and we can all use more love in our lives. Thanks a bunch. Bye-bye now.